guys want to see the look of happiness?
Happy little clean kitty. Mommy gave him a bath, didn't she? He's so clean and soft. So is his Shishi. Happy kitties.
Well, boys, I wanted to ride the motorcycle today. I don't have time to do it. We need to do some work on this Honda. I did a couple things to it. It's nice out today. Get the door open. So I had a small rust spot right here, and after I picked it, there was a hole in the hood right there. So I sanded all the rust, and it was just a little pinhole. So I sanded all the rust out, and that's fiberglass strand filler. And I had another spot back here. Did the same thing. This rust spot back here. So that's fiberglass strand filler. And it didn't dry too fast. So I had to let it sit overnight. I'm just going to smooth this a little bit. Touch up paint. I already did rust reformer and touch up paint on this spot, as you can see. And that doesn't look too hateful. It's treated. Like I said, right there's the rust reformer, did that. Then touch up paint. So I'm going to just sand this a little bit. Actually, the hardware store closes soon, and I don't think I have any fuel line. Actually, this is about the right diameter, so I might be all right here. I got a couple hose clamps as well, so we might be all right, sitting all right. I don't need to go to the hardware store. My wife wants me to go down and get some stuff anyways, so I just don't need to get fuel on. Yeah, here's a couple clamps. I can use these. All right, so we'll fix the EGR thing. Let me run down the hardware store and get the stuff I need. I'll come back and we'll start working on that. All right, so I went ahead, sanded that down, and I didn't put like a crap load of effort into it, so like it's not like completely smooth or anything. The surface wasn't completely flat. I'm not, you know what I mean, not putting a huge effort into it, but that rust spot's not going to go any further, at least for a long time anyways. And now I'm going to start on this up here, and it's just a small spot, but we got the fiberglass strand filler on there. We're going to sand that down, and then I'm just going to go over it with some touch-up paint. And if it's smooth enough and it looks decent on here, I might run the buffer over it. That sometimes helps. That touch-up paint, it smooths it out and it looks better. But I mean, you know, this is a rough vehicle altogether. So like, what is that? It looks like sand marks. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, I got a little bit too much paint on there, but there's no more rust hole, and it's touched up. That's the only thing. The metallic, when you brush it on, it leaves streaks, so like to level it out, it's hard to do. But that's halfway decent. We'll let it dry, see how it turns out. Like I said, maybe we'll run a buffer on it. Might help level that out a little bit more, but not that bad. There's only one more spot I wanted to look into, and it was this spot right here by the door. And I'm afraid that that's probably also going to be a hole, and we'll have to use some fiberglass strand filler in it as well. So let me get it cleaned up, and we'll see what we're working with here. So thankfully, if you can see that, there's actually no hole there, and there's metal there. So I must have got a chip right here, and got a little bit of water in under the paint, or some salt in under the paint. I'm going to continue sanding this a little bit out past this point, and I got a little bit of a dip in here now, so I might put some filler on this just to make it look a little better, since it's on the quarter panel, and then just do a little touch-up paint on that. So I'm going to continue doing this. I'll get back when I get some filler on here and stuff, and we'll continue going. Now right now it looks rough, but this has clear coat in the end of this, and when you go over those scratches with the clear coat, it'll actually blend it together. Back here, I just put a couple more spots on because I kind of buffed it, so it kind of blended with the paint a little bit better. And over here, there were scratch marks around that rough spot, and I went around it with the clear, and it blended the scratches in, so it doesn't look near as bad. I mean, you know, it is what it is. This front spot is still drying, and then we'll try to buff that in, make it look a little bit more uniform. But I went over this bumper with a Scotch-Brite pad. I was going to scuff it with like 600. I didn't have any 600, and the Scotch-Brite pad. This primer that they put on this bumper is very thin, and I didn't want to go through it. So the Scotch-Brite pad is what I used on it. This part doesn't get painted, so I wrote the paint code and stuff on there for Jerry, so he knows. But yeah, that's the section that we had to cut out. That's kind of like the only thing that gives the bumper a rigid form. But this thing's ready. I still have to take the fender off. Maybe we'll do that while I'm waiting for this paint to dry so we can add some clear on that. Does it look perfect? No. Kind of sticks out there. Is it rust bubbles? No. So, like I said, I keep stressing that this is just a budget build. It looks half decent from back here. That's looking decent. You got to watch with these things. This top one, I opened it upside down because these things are tricky. The bottom, the clear coat is in the bottom part, and the brush is on the pen. The top part, the paint is in the pen, and the brush is on the top. I opened this backwards, and now I got silver paint on everything. Luckily, I had gloves on. But yeah, we had a little bit of a spill there. We got all the parts in the car. I'm gonna go ahead, take a break, run them out to Jerry's, come back, and we're gonna fix this EGR line when I get back. And this paint might be dry enough to buff it at that point. I am back. Went to Jerry's. I'm gonna fix this issue right here real quick because I have some hose. Don't tell Ashley. I'm just gonna get a pipe cutter. We're gonna go around this line. Got it kind of separated, so should be able to get on that. We'll wrap around it a couple times, get it cut. I have a brake line flare tool. I'm gonna see if it'll work. Flare the ends just a little bit, so then whenever we put the line on and clamp it, we definitely know it's not gonna come off there. Now I'm just gonna, that line is a little bit floppy. It's not really the kind of line I wanted to use, but it was about the right diameter. So I'm gonna start the car up, make sure it's not gonna like blow the hose up or suck it tight or whatever. So let's just start it up right now while I have it up in the air, and I can check things out, make sure everything's okay, and then if everything's good, we'll put it down. My buddy has locked out, and he's getting a new radio. Yes, this radio right here does not work. It turns on, you can go through stations and stuff, no sound comes out. It has an auxiliary cord plugged into it. Tried to play music through my phone, and it's just like making popping noises. It's not even playing, but like if I turn the volume up, the popping noises get louder and they get quieter. So this stereo, and from what I've seen online, they're junk, but you cannot eliminate this. because your AC controls and fan controls and stuff are here. I saw there was an aftermarket kit. It was expensive. It had different controls up here, but your radio goes down here somewhere. Well, the installation kit I'm looking at, first I want to pull this out, make sure that it's not something stupid like a plug hanging off of it or something. But the aftermarket kit, it puts a panel down here below this, and your stereo goes in, and then you just have a small pocket instead of this big pocket. So this pops up out, that popped out, which should have had a couple screws in it, and they weren't in it. It just popped out of there. So there are 2 more screws in that, and the center place comes out. That's why I went and got a screwdriver. So let me get this stereo out, and then let me make sure it's not something stupid, because it looks like somebody had pried on this already. There's kind of pry marks around this. So let's see what's going on. Alright, so I got the stereo out, getting into it. It had this plugged into the bottom. Well, this was plugged into the bottom of it. It's a jumper harness for this auxiliary box, and then that's what ran out through the bottom of that panel. What it is, this still runs in through the stock stereo. The stock stereo is just the amplifier in it, or whatever is putting out the sound, is just, it's shot. Because even with this unplugged, it's still doing the same thing. And with my phone plugged in, it runs through the stereo, which is supposed to go out to the speakers. So this stereo is just gone. That's where our issue's at. It sucks, but it's plugged in right now, and we are going to be getting an installation kit. the blend door, it squeaks. It just sucks. So I'm gonna have to order the parts for that, and some of the other things like the carpet. I'll get to that, but this is not gonna be as quick. And since I don't have that much money into it, I don't really feel bad about putting a stereo in it. I mean, I could get another stock stereo, but you have to buy this whole thing, and that's just gonna be way overpriced. I might as well put an aftermarket in it so he can jam and have Bluetooth. And I'll save this, because if I get another Honda like this at some point down the road, all this did was plug into the bottom of the radio, and you could have the auxiliary cord. So that, and then I can save that compartment too, because we're not going to use that anymore either. Daddy's going to work overtime just to pay for your cat food.
How do you feel?
Well, kids, unfortunately, actually, I might do one more thing here on this video and polish these headlights. But I normally have a 2-day weekend and a 3-day weekend. This would be my 3-day weekend, and it's going to be a 1-day weekend because I got to work Friday and Saturday. So, not complaining right now because of everything being slow and Ashley not really getting the clients and stuff that she wanted. So, hopefully Sunday. I mean, it's supposed to rain all weekend, but if it's light rain, I might go to Johnny's on Sunday. No promises there, because I don't even know if they're open. It says on their website they are, but that doesn't mean that they are. So, yeah. Let me just go ahead real quick and just throw a buffer on these headlights. And I'm going to try my drill instead of my other buffer on this. See how they turn out. So there you go. I don't know if you noticed that I had to sand a little bit because I was using this on the drill for different. I thought I'd try a different buffer just to see how it worked. I use a buffing pad on my drill, and I burnt marks into the lens. I got it. I don't know. I'm guessing it was burn marks. They would not come out. I had to sand them out. So I had several on this side. This side was worse, and I got a couple on this side. And there's still a couple small marks, like right here. But for the most part, they look a heck of a lot better. I mean, for what it is. So, yeah. It's coming along. It's coming along. We got to work on the carpet on the next episode. I want to check the brakes, see what the brake pads and everything look like. I did not get the parts for the radio and stuff, but if I go to Johnny's, might go to Walmart and grab a wiring adapter. There's one coming with the installation kit that I ordered, but it's not supposed to be here until like the end of next week. Everything, you know, because of COVID-19, everything is being delayed in shipping, and these parts are on their way someday. I don't know when I'll ever see them, but hopefully before I get the painted parts back. That would be very nice. So just like that, we're going to call that the end of this episode. Yes, there's going to be another episode on it. I said there was only going to be like one, but you got to fix all the issues. I also need to clean the inside like really good, because it was a smoker, and it doesn't smell like real bad because of, but there's a hint of smoke. So I want to you know, take a carpet cleaner through the whole thing, get it all cleaned out. I have a steam cleaner. Maybe I'll run that on some spots and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna work all weekend. So if you like this episode, consider subscribing. Hit that like button. Maybe if you like the video, head over to Teespring and check out my merch on my Teespring page. Should be a shelf below the video. Click on one of those shirts and stuff and go get yourself something. If you enjoy COVID-19, hit that dislike button. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwracked.